What's up, NFL fans? Welcome back to the channel, Revis Talk Sports. In this video, I'll be giving you my AFC Championship game predictions. But before we begin, let's do a quick recap of the AFC Divisional Rounds. First off, we have the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Houston Texans. The Chiefs did defeat the Texans 23-14. This was a game that was filled with questionable penalties. I know you had that roughing the passer one, which was a bit murky, but the most atrocious one of them all was that late hit against Patrick Mahomes. I mean, if you're a quarterback scrambling out the pocket and you have a late slide, expect to get hit. Do not try to call a flag because at that point, you're a runner and they're pretty much trying to tackle you down to the ground. But that was a very atrocious call. I'm sure Troy Aikman, if you heard him as a commentator, he did not like that call. Now, on top of that, Patrick Mahomes did run down the sidelines. And as he was going out, he pretty much flopped to get an additional penalty. I mean, this is pretty much what you're up against when you're playing the Chiefs at Arrowhead Stadium, especially in the playoffs. If something looks murky for the refs or you touch Mahomes the wrong way, they're going to call a flag on you. I understand the Texans did the best what they can, but at the end of the day, the Texans just aren't in the same class as the Kansas City Chiefs. 2 missed field goals, a missed extra point, and giving up 8 sacks just isn't the right formula to get an upset over the Kansas City Chiefs. The Texans did outgain the Chiefs by over 120 total yards, and they did win the time of possession. But when you're giving up pretty much double the amount of sacks, double the amount of penalties, and miss points off the board, you're not going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead Stadium. I know CJ Stroud did the best that he can with what he had. I know Nico Collins is his top receiver. Joe Mixon did a great job as a running back. And CJ Stroud also did a great job screaming out the pocket to get additional yards. But this Texans team just cannot take down the Chiefs in the playoffs, especially they're 0-2 the last 2 times around. But the Texans just aren't at the same class, and it's very hard to upset the Kansas City Chiefs if you're not playing a clean game, whether that's giving up a lot of sacks, and giving up penalties and taking points off the board. That just isn't a recipe for success to get a nice upset over the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, the Chiefs are now 7-0 in the divisional round, and they pretty much dominate in the playoffs whenever they're at this point in the playoffs. The Chiefs are pretty much dominant in the playoffs within pretty much the past decade, and they now go on to a championship game in hopes to get that three-peat and win the Super Bowl in 3 straight years. They are 4-2 in the AFC Championship game, and they now face the Buffalo Bills in the next round. The next divisional round recap we have is the Buffalo Bills versus the Baltimore Ravens. The Bills did defeat the Ravens 27-25. This was the battle of the 2 MVP candidates, Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. But the difference in this game were the turnovers. The Buffalo Bills are actually one of the most elite NFL teams in terms of turnover production. And when you're winning the turnover battle and have the offense to move the ball, the Buffalo Bills pretty much have one of the most explosive offenses in the NFL. You're going to win in the playoffs, win the turnover battle, have the offense to score points. You're going to win a playoff game. Lamar Jackson had 2 turnovers, 1 interception, 1 fumble, and Mark Andrews had 1 fumble. So pretty much when you're winning that 3-0 turnover battle, really crucial in a playoff spot to advance to the AFC Championship game. Baltimore Ravens did have more passing yards. They did have more rushing yards. But that does not matter if you are turning the ball over and you have pretty much 4 times the amount of penalties than the Buffalo Bills. So pretty much self-inflicted wounds pretty much gave up the Ravens to advance to the next round. The Baltimore Ravens have yet to win back-to-back playoff games with Lamar Jackson as their quarterback. And whenever the Baltimore Ravens go on to that second game in the playoffs, Lamar Jackson has at least 1 turnover. I understand Lamar Jackson is pretty much the MVP this year. I understand he is a human highlight reel. I understand he puts up a lot of great stats in the regular season. There is a lot of self-reflecting that needs to be done. I'm not sure if that's on Lamar Jackson, the team as a whole, but this team cannot win multiple playoff games in a row because if your aspirations are to make it to the Super Bowl and get a ring, you need to win multiple playoff games in a row. You cannot have turnovers in crucial games. 2 last night, unacceptable. Having won last year against the Kansas City Chiefs, not good. It just seems like this Baltimore Ravens team is just consistently shooting themselves in the foot to the point where at this point, they're pretty much are playoff choke artists at this point. They're pretty much a regular season highlight reel, but they just cannot win multiple games, and that is not good. A lot of self-reflecting needs to be done for this Ravens team. The Buffalo Bills finally snapped a 3-game losing streak in the divisional round, and they now advance to the AFC Championship game, where they now face the Kansas City Chiefs, in which they face each other in Week 11, and this is a rematch of the 2020 AFC Championship game. Now that the stage is finally set in the AFC Championship game, you have the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Buffalo Bills. This is the rematch of Week 11, like I said. But whatever happened in the regular season, it doesn't really matter at this point. I understand the Buffalo Bills pretty much dominated the Kansas City Chiefs at Buffalo. The tables have turned. This game is at Arrowhead Stadium in the playoffs, where the Chiefs are 16-3 under Patrick Mahomes. This is MVP candidate Josh Allen versus Patrick Mahomes. This is the battle of one of the best defenses in the NFL in turnover production versus one of the best defenses in the NFL in touchdowns allowed. This is do or die in Arrowhead Stadium, and who would advance to the Super Bowl? There are a few key victories or keys to victory for the Buffalo Bills in this game. One, keep doing what you're doing in the turnover battle. They do a great job this whole entire season getting turnovers. They are ranked number 1 in the NFL in turnover margin per game. Keep doing what you're doing. At least, probably try to pick off Patrick Mahomes, get a forced fumble, try to get opportunities to make the Chiefs turn the ball over to you. That is what the Buffalo Bills are good at. 1, time of possession. The longer you keep Patrick Mahomes on the bench and you continue to make the most out of your opportunities, there is a chance for an upset. The Buffalo Bills run the ball at a very high rate, and if they continue to burn the clock and keep Mahomes on the sidelines, there is a chance of an upset here. Play a clean game. Don't have turnovers on your end, and as a matter of fact, try not to have more penalties than Kansas City Chiefs. You already know what you're going into Kansas City Chiefs. You need to beat the Chiefs offense, you need to beat the Chiefs defense, and you damn sure know they are eyeing every little thing of what happens, so they might try to throw a penalty on you. Play a clean game, don't turn the ball over, and play a clean game and not lose that penalty battle between the Chiefs. And like I said, make the most of your opportunities, whether that's trying to get a pick six or whether that's special teams, offense, defense. Make the most of your opportunities. Try to make the Chiefs very frustrated, trying to score points on you. Make the Chiefs frustrated, trying to stop you on offense. You need to be perfect in nearly every single phase in this game to at least get an upset with the Chiefs. So make the most of your opportunities, win a turnover battle, time possession, and clean game. Now for the Chiefs, keep doing what you're doing. You're 4-2 in your spot. You know how to get to the Super Bowl. You understand how to finish this championship round and advance to the Super Bowl. At this point, they pretty much have the same team as last year, pretty much the same coaching staff as last year. Just do you, and you pretty much are making your way to the Super Bowl for a potential three-peat. Now, with that being said, the winner between the Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills, to me, I had the Kansas City Chiefs over the Buffalo Bills. And as far as score prediction, I'm going Kansas City Chiefs 27, Buffalo Bills 24. I think this game ends up in Patrick Mahomes' hand with the last possession. And I think a game-winning field goal seems a bit appropriate in this one in a very close game and a nice thriller AFC Championship game. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed the content, give the video a thumbs up and comment below on your AFC Championship game. Thank you so much, and catch you guys on Friday for my NFC Championship game predictions.